I'm Seth Lissick. I'm the field director for Tri-County Air Conditioning, and we're doing a video series talking about indoor air quality, understanding the foundations, and what you can do in your home to improve the air that you and your family breathe. Today we're going to be talking about pressurization of the home and ventilation. One of the largest sources of unneeded or unwanted infiltration into the home is because of an unbalanced pressurization issue inside of the house. So when we talk about pressure, we're talking about the difference of the pressure inside of the home compared to the difference of the pressure outside of the home. If the pressure outside is greater than the pressure inside, anytime you have a pressure balance or a pressure issue, your pressure is going to want to equalize and balance. So if the pressure outside of the house is more or greater than the pressure inside of the home, you're going to have outside air that wants to infiltrate into the house to get to that balance point of a neutral pressure. And that can lead to a lot of issues like high humidity and unwanted particles entering into the house, whether it be through cracks of the windows or any part of the house that's not sealed, any electrical, recessed can lighting, plumbing penetrations through the top plates of a wall that eventually that air comes in through an electrical switch or an outlet. All of this can be sources of ways for outside air to get into the home, and that will certainly have a negative impact on the quality of air that we breathe. When we talk about sources of negative pressure, how does that house get into a negative pressure in the first place? We're going to be talking about a few different things that really contribute to that. So the number one reason for a house to be in a negative pressure is supply duct leakage. So we have our house here and an air conditioner up here. We have a designed amount of air that we want to take out of the house, and we want to put the same amount of air back in. And we're talking about 1,200, 1,600 cubic feet of air per minute. It's a lot of air that we're moving. So if we're taking out 1,600 cubic feet of air, but we have a significant supply duct leak, say 200 CFM, we're only bringing 1,400 CFM back into the house. That means for every minute of runtime, we're exhausting 200 cubic feet of air, and that's going to significantly reduce the pressure inside the house to the outside. So that pressure is going to want to balance, and we have outside air infiltrate. So number one, the biggest issue is supply duct leaks. You want to make sure that your ducts are sealed properly, because not only is it impacting your indoor air quality, but also the efficiency of the system, driving up your electric bill, because you're paying to condition more air than what's being reintroduced into the house. And that has a negative impact. Some other topics of or sources of negative pressure are your exhaust range inside of the kitchen. Every time that's running, you're exhausting air outside of the house, as well as a bathroom fan. Great to run when you're showering to remove that humidity, but if it's left on, it's going to continue exhausting air and drive that house into a negative pressure. And another contributor, one that probably doesn't get thought of about a lot, is if you have your washer and dryer inside of the conditioned space in a laundry room or something like that, utility room, your dryer is an exhaust fan. So every time you're doing laundry, drying those clothes, if that dryer is inside of the house, it's using inside air to pass through the dryer, and then it leaves the house, again, driving that house into a negative pressure. Now, new homes are sealed a lot tighter than old homes, but even in that case, if you have a newer home that's sealed tightly, that doesn't have the natural outside air driving into the house through any window cracks or anything like that, anytime you open up a door to the outside or a sliding glass door, that house is going to want to equalize in pressure, and you're going to have outside air infiltrate through that door when it gets open. So the best way to do that is to ventilate properly. So what we want to do is create a positive pressure inside of the house, so that way you're exfiltrating any air when there's a pressure difference to outside. First and foremost, the number one thing you want to do to improve the comfort level and the indoor air quality of your house is make sure your supply ducts aren't leaking. If you open up your door to the outside when the system is running and you feel air, a large amount of air being sucked into the house, that's a leading indication that the house is at a negative pressure, and it could be a source of supply duct leakage. Or if it seems like the house is always humid or hot in different places, where the air conditioning can never keep up and relative humidity is high inside of the space, that could be a source that the air ducts could be leaking and driving that house into a negative pressure. Depending on budget, there's other things that we can do as well. we talked about dehumidification and using a whole home dehumidifier. There's dehumidifiers that are ventilating dehumidifiers, which will bring outside air in intentionally, filter that air, and condition it before entering it into that conditioned envelope. Or you can have a fresh air duct that brings in air when the air conditioning is running. Both of those will intentionally bring in outside air, filter it, condition it, and then introduce it into the space to keep the house in a positive pressure. That's the biggest thing, is you want to have the house in a slightly positive pressure for maintaining your comfort and a good indoor air quality. Anything that's in a negative pressure, significant negative pressure, is going to have poor impacts on the comfort, the humidity level of the home, the particle count of the home, and your overall indoor air quality. If you have any questions, please visit our website at tricountyair.com or give our office a call at 941-485-2222. Thank you.